Listen up, bro. Top 10 most legendary empires in history. Let's go. Alright, at number 10 we got the Inca Empire. This might seem like quite a small empire compared to the big ones you already know, but just shut the f up for a minute and let me explain. The Inca Empire is the largest empire in the history of South America, and in terms of length, it was actually longer than the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire beats them on girth though, so you tell me which one really matters. The Inca people also rode exclusively on llamas, which is honestly pretty based. They ain't had time for no horse bullshit. They also built one of the 7 wonders of the world, the Machu Picchu, which is a fly-ass little city in the mountains of Peru. Absolutely legendary. At number 9 we got the Umayyad Caliphate, the largest Muslim empire in history, reaching from western India all the way to Portugal. It had control of northern Africa, parts of Europe, and almost all of the Middle East. For the almost 100 years they existed, they were definitely the kings of the Middle East. It's even said that they drew the first plans for the Burj Khalifa, which proves that these guys were absolute G's. At number 8 we got the Persian Empire, the oldest empire on this list, as it was founded almost 2,600 years ago. But don't let the age fool you. Many people have made that mistake throughout history. Just look what happened when Voldemort underestimated Dumbledore. Shame on him. But at its time, the Persian Empire was the largest empire that had ever existed. They had the legendary city of Babylon and Persepolis, and they had an unlimited amount of money coming in. Probably from stuff like dropshipping and crypto. They did, however, get completely destroyed by 336 BC sexiest man alive, Alexander the Great, who took over the entire empire very quickly. At number 7 we got the Qing Dynasty. They had basically all of China plus some extra bits here and there, making it the 4th biggest empire in history. Despite the fact that some of the most deathly events in history happened because of the Qing Dynasty, it is still one of the most successful empires of all time. Just take a look at the Emperor's Crypt. This screams main character energy. It's absolutely massive. Like, just imagine the party Diddy could host here. But for almost 300 years, the emperor managed to rule the empire with an iron fist around the balls of everyone in and around their land. At number 6 we got the Spanish Empire. After the main man Christopher Columbus discovered America, it started a wave of European boys sailing to South and North America and literally just taking land like it was free real estate. And Spain was probably the country that capitalized on this the most. If you look at this map, you can see just how much of the Americas the Spanish Empire took. Like, bro, they basically just took 2 continents, minus Canada and Brazil. That's just insane. And Spain gained massively from this and became an international superpower. At number 5 we got the Ottoman Empire, the longest standing empire on this list with a more than 600-year-long reign, which means that great artists like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Van Gogh, Hitler, and Picasso all were alive while this empire existed. It also ended the last standing remains of the Roman Empire when it took over Constantinople and the East Roman Empire, which honestly kinda sucks, but you gotta give credit, they absolutely slayed. Big up the Ottomans. At number 4 we got the Russian Empire. Founded by Peter the Great in 1721, it is the 3rd biggest empire in history. At first, this might just look like the Russia of today, but it actually had a lot of what are sovereign nations today under its rule. It had control of Finland, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, and all the Baltic countries, as well as parts of Poland, Turkey, and the US. That's right, they owned the state of Alaska before selling it to the US in 1867. This empire was also a major part in shutting down the Riskmaster Napoleon's plans of total European domination, and good on them. But the empire ended in 1917, and only months later the Russian Revolution happened, and the new Soviet Russia became the first communist country in the world, which made them lose an infinite amount of aura. At number 3 we got the Roman Empire. Alright, you knew this one was coming, cause you probably already thought about it today. It is absolutely one of the most legendary empires ever. It roamed most of the civilized Western world at its biggest, reaching from the Scottish border all the way to Azerbaijan. Both Italy, France, and England was within the empire, which means the Romans had pizza, croissants, and whatever English food is. Fish and chips and a bottle of water on a Tuesday, innit? But the Roman Empire was in many ways ahead of its time and helped shape Europe as we know it. At number 2 we got the Mongol Empire, the biggest empire in history connected by land, led by the boss man himself, Genghis Khan. At its biggest, it was around 23 million square kilometers, which is bigger than at least like 20 football fields. Massive, you know. The boss Genghis started it all by uniting the Mongolian tribes and then going nuts on everyone around around them, taking land so fast like actual blitzkrieg on horses. Nobody can stop them. For the 162 years the empire lasted, the surrounding countries in Eurasia pissed their little undies when they thought of the Mongol Empire. And at number 1 we got the British Empire, the undisputed biggest empire in history that at one point ruled over almost 25% of all land on the planet, and as the only empire in history had land on every single continent, which is absolutely nuts. Like, look at this map. How the f did this little shithole control all this land? Especially when you think that they also had Birmingham at this point, a shithole within a shithole.
I live in a shithole! Birmingham is a f***ing shithole!
But nah, jokes aside, the British Empire was really remarkable. It became the most powerful and influential empire in the world, which the Britain we know today has its roots in, which means that without the British Empire, the world might not have been introduced to Boris Johnson,
Beautiful new blue,
baked beans, IPAs, bad teeth, and people from Birmingham.
Birmingham is full of dickheads!
Yeah, maybe we could have done without. That's the top 10. If you agreed, that's cool I guess. If you didn't, f*** off. I'll see you in the next one.